This consistent cough, fever, just a very tight chest, not being able to breathe. And then it gets worse. It's been like this all morning.
I have this virus. You hear people go to ICU. Some people don't make it out.
Matt texts, "I'm so scared, Mom. Am I gonna survive?" And I said, "Yes, they need to get you better and get you out."
This is what you hear horror stories about.
I've been sick for most part of the whole month of March. Just let me get through this.
لا تخافي بابا، لا تخافي.
Hello,
Hi.
how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I can't believe we're actually talking. I feel like this has been a long time coming.
I know. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of like the same stuff that we're going through. So
When I came out of the hospital, I started just researching. I saw your story and was like, I need to talk to Matt.
having nobody who can understand like really what you went through was almost made it worse. I feel like you actually know, and you know it triggers like a little bit of a flashback, and I'm still a little bit shaken up.
I was just being wheeled through these hallways.
The hallways were empty.
In my eyes, they were just black. I'm alone in this room now. Like, where's my mom? Like, I want my mom here.
It was all a blur.
And I'm being woken up every 2 hours to get
Painkillers,
and blood work.
a lot of cough medicine. There was a lot of testing and swabbing. I know there was a flurry of doctors that came in and out.
I saw respiratory therapists, and then the intensive care people came in.
I wasn't getting better, and she was concerned about blood clots. My heart rate wasn't going down.
COVID was attacking my lungs. I had oxygen in my nose.
Because I couldn't breathe well.
They have to put on their PPE, and there's shortages.
They told me how to manage the machines so they could limit the times that they came in. It would be a flurry of motion and then silence.
It was terrifying.
Eventually, they came in and told me that my test came out negative. The doctor said your symptoms are coronavirus symptoms. We won't know until there's an antibody testing, but we are worried about lasting effects. I finally got discharged.
Nobody seems to care about like the after effects, about like what happens.
Are you checking your heart rate a lot? I'm using the pulse ox.
I have a pulse ox right next to my bed too. I usually check it every once in a while. I'm still having a little bit of coughing. My heart rate is still a little bit high. What about you?
The first day out of the hospital, I started getting sharp pains. And I was prone to having a stroke right now. I was on blood thinners. My symptoms still had not subsided. I was still coughing 24/7. I was still having chills. My oxygen, my heart rate, all of it was at risk. Everything around us said that it only took 14 days and then you would be okay. All I know is that I can't breathe, nothing is working, and it's been a month of hell.
Sura حبيبتي كيفك? We're worried about you. You get any update from the doctors?
Hey, how you doing?
Okay.
Let me just, time to check your oxygen and see that pulse. See if it's come down at all. Just relax your hand.
The first night out of the hospital, I had a breakdown. My mom had to come in. The nighttime was always the worst. I don't have the nurses around me this time. I'm scared to go to sleep.
He was still very sick.
Breathing is almost starting to become a task for me. I had lost a lot of weight and a lot of muscle. And I can't do these basic tasks that I used to do.
I was so worried about what was lingering in there. I'd get through the day thinking only positive things, and that night it's, what's happening right now? Is he taking a turn for the worse?
I would start crying for no reason. This is bad. Like, I'm actually not okay.
What?
Ooh.
I had to force him. You need to come downstairs.
I'm not feeling like doing the things I normally would. I just wanted to be with my dogs.
As I started regaining my ability to just get out of bed, I started wanting to go out. I started with a walk. And that made my heart rate shoot up. But I kept going. Eventually I started running. It was important for my mental health to regain some sort of control.
I wanted him to get back to doing the things he loved, just to bring him some happiness. Maybe some of these symptoms will go away if you start to do a little rehab.
I was finally thinking, like, I want to go outside. Or I want to go shoot hoops on my driveway. It took me quite a while to finally regain that strength and that desire to want to go out and do the things that I used to do again.
I've been taking up painting to since I can't do anything. Have you done anything like that where you're taking up something new to get rid of the boredom and also not think about how you're recovering 24/7?
Nothing new, really. I've definitely come across some things in my house that I forgot I had. So I found a couple of like really old video games that I used to play as a kid.
I mean, at least you
Yeah,
also have Max and Dudley to keep you company, because I feel like that helps, just having pets around.
they kind of just follow me around wherever, which is nice because I have constant company. I've been trying to get outside as much as I can. I've been like playing with the volleyball a bit. I've noticed though, like my depth perception is a little bit off.
I did my first hike, and that was basically a hill.
Yeah.
And I lasted all of 10 minutes before I was out of breath. How about
Well,
you?
so we're making progress though. But I know I can't last for quite too long either before I feel like my chest is like, tightening up all the time.
الو، كيفك بابا؟
I'm okay.
أنا ما خبرتك شو صار لأنه I was worried about your recovery about you. عمو يونس في نيويورك بتعرفيه؟
Yeah? What about him?
الله يرحمه توفى بنفس الفترة اللي أنت كنت فيه بالمستشفى.
What do you mean?
نفس الفترة اللي أنت رحتي على المستشفى هو كمان he got COVID-19 and he was admitted. بس الله يرحمه ما تحمل. It was very severe and he died. وأنا ما حبيت أخبرك بهذيك الفترة حتى ما أثر عليكي وعلى الريكفري تبعك.
Eunice, the one who's like kids are Dima and all of them, who we used to play with when we were kids?
And yes.
He was so nice to me.
Yeah, Allah yarhamu, he was nice to everybody, but this is life. This is the situation. بس أنا عم بحكي لك هذا الحكي هلا حتى ما تفكري إنه you recovered and that's it, you're safe. This disease has يعني.
What do you mean he passed away, like when I was in the hospital?
He passed away, Allah yarhamu.
Like when we were both, I was in there and he was in there, and then I got out and he didn't.
Yes.
Were they able to do a funeral?
Listen. I want you to be strong because if you are not strong enough, your immune system will go down and you are still not off the hook.
This breaks my heart. He was such a good man. He loved his family so much. He was so nice and generous. Were they able to say goodbye?
Huh?
Were they able to say goodbye?
I don't think so because in the last period he was under isolation, complete isolation from his family.
So they took him on ventilator?
Yeah.
But he's healthy. Like he's your age. Like there's nothing wrong with him.
Yeah, that's why even حتى عائلته كانوا مستغربين إنه ما كان في شيء. Suddenly he got the virus and within days his health was deteriorating.
My heart rate was all over the place and they didn't want me to deteriorate. That's some real survivor's guilt. How do you talk about the trauma of being hospitalized and being alone, negotiating your breaths when your own uncle passed away from coronavirus? There's a real mental toll to this. And I think the unknown of it is the hardest part.
Not knowing is just, it's terrifying.
Time has stretched out even more, and there's been a lot more cases. But it's going to take a long time to figure it all out. I often look back and think, would I have been as scared now? If he were to get it now and be that sick now, would I be as scared now as I was then? And I think the answer would be yes, because it still would have been the same feeling of terror.
It's okay to just not talk about it and to find the support group that you need. I think I found that in Matt. I think I found that in myself and in my family.
Finally, I'm back to where I was before.
I just really wanted to check on you and make sure that you're doing well.
I know that she understands, and that's really, really nice for me. Like, we have this in common, and it's super, it's not cool because we both went through it, but it's really, it gives me a lot of closure. I went downstairs to my family after that call, and I was like, that was like really good for my health, like my mental health.
سلام حبيبتي، كيفك؟ Don't freak out. هديل وزوجها مصابين بالكورونا، عندها وجع في عظمها. زوجها الكورونا ضربت عنده الكبد. Call هديل.